Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Locker Room, our weekly podcast where we shine a light on all of our student athletes in the Bayou region. Stan Gravois here, and along with me is Dustin Robichaud, our graphic designer who puts all of this together. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, Stan.
I guess you are great. You had the opportunity to go on vacation last week, came back. My friend Dustin went to Hawaii. He was in Honolulu last week while we were all either slaving at school or at work. Of course, it was Holy Week last week. How was the trip?
It was great. Started off a little rough, but actually had a great time.
I did tell you that the flight might be the hardest thing. It's tough. Especially depending on where your layover is at. The time I had the opportunity to go, we laid over in Houston and went straight away from Houston. That was a long flight. I understand you laid over in Atlanta.
Yes,
So that's
did.
really a long flight, right?
Yes, over 9 hours. Yes.
9 hours. I do know that sort of a lot of the reasoning you wanted to go. Of course, your son is a graduating senior, so it was an opportunity for him to sort of get in a senior trip. That being said, you got to see some movie sites where some of the world's greatest movies were ever filmed, right?
Yes, yes. We went to the ranch where they shot Jurassic Park, the Jurassic World movies, Kong Skull Island. They still actually have bones there in the field. Yeah.
And came back on Easter Sunday, right?
We did, yes.
Yeah, very good. I hope that was a great trip for you. Well deserved. In our area, there is a lot going on. Baseball and softball playoffs are happening. The first rounds are all over. It's the first time the Louisiana High School Athletic Association has lined up baseball and softball together. And what I mean by that is, in the past, softball would actually start a week before baseball. So the rounds were different. You know, you may be in round 3 of softball, just getting into round 1 of baseball. Well, everything's kind of lining up this year where round 1 of baseball and softball ended at the same time. And we're going to let you know who is moving on to round 2, what teams are still in round 1. And I have a lot of that right in front of me. So let's get to it. First, and probably what is our biggest bracket, Division 1 of non-select, we had 3 local teams from our local district who made the playoffs. That would be Destrehan, Hornville, and Thibodeau High. Unfortunately, in round 1, they were all knocked out. They all had to play really tough competition. None of them had a really good draw in this thing. Thibodeau High, the school we keep an eye on most here in the Bayou region, had to play Walker. Walker has a very good program, and they played a best 2 out of 3 series. Thibodeau actually lost the first game, but came back strong in the second game, blasting Walker in that one. So it set up a rubber match, but in that third game, they couldn't get it done, so Thibodeau's out. So we have no teams in the Division 1 non-select bracket anymore. All of our high schools are out. But when we go to Division 2 non-select, South Terrebonne, the number 13 seed, had to take on number 20 Jennings. That was played in Berg, a best 2 out of 3. And South Terrebonne had no problems with Jennings. Actually beat them the first 2 games, so they swept the series games 1 and 2, and they won both of them by mercy rule, by 10 runs. So imagine that, folks. Jennings High School came all the way in from West Louisiana to lose 2 games by the 10-run rule and went home. Kudos to South Terrebonne. They seem to be putting it together all at the right time. The other team from our area had a bye in the first round. That's Lutcher High School. So Lutcher didn't even have to play. They're the number 3 seed. They move on by virtue of getting a bye. In the second round, South Terrebonne is going to be taking on number 4, West Washita, in the Monroe area. That is going to be on Friday and Saturday of this week. South Terrebonne leaving out early on Friday morning. 1 game on Friday, 2 games on Saturday if necessary. Remember, it's 2 out of 3 in that particular bracket. Mendon is coming in from North Louisiana to take on number 3 Lutcher. That also going to be played at the end of this week. Best 2 out of 3. In Division 2 Select, we have 2 local teams in the playoffs, and they both got byes in the first round. Vanderbilt Catholic and E.D. White both had byes. Now they'll be playing in the second round. Number 12, the Willow School, is going to travel in here to Houma to take on number 5 Vanderbilt Catholic. That series starts on Thursday. That is a best 2 out of 3 series. And number 10, Acadiana Renaissance, is going to be at number 7 E.D. White in Thibodeau. That series starts on Wednesday. That also a best 2 out of 3. Vanderbilt and E.D. White are predicted to win those particular series. In Division 3 Select, Homer Christian did have to play in the first round and they had no problems. They defeated Patrick Taylor, the number 9 seed. By the way, Homer Christian was the number 14 seed. They defeated Patrick Taylor 2 games. Extremely easy in those 2 games where neither was very close. Homer Christian is moving on to play number 3, Pope John Paul, north of the lake. That is going to be a best 2 out of 3 series, and it begins later this week. And finally, when we look at Division 4 Select, CCA, the 34-0 CCA Lions had a bye in the first round. They'll be playing in the second round now. They're going to be taking on a team from New Orleans, St. Martin's Episcopal, a team that they were familiar with in their district from years back. St. Martin Episcopal is the number 16 seed. So they move on to play that team in the next round. Let's look at softball real quick. In softball, Division 1 non-select, it's kind of the same story, folks. Our local teams are all out in the big division. Thibodaux and Central Lafourche both lost in the first round. Had terrific seasons, but had tough draws in the first round, and they are both out. In Division 2 non-select, South Terrebonne did it again, softball and baseball. In softball, they defeaed Beauchesne, number 25, Beauchesne, 19-8. They are moving on. And both Assumption and Lutcher had byes in the first round. So they'll be playing in the second round. In the second round, it'll be Pearl River at Assumption. So Pearl River is your number 19 seed. They'll be going to Napoleonville. Number 12, Belle Chase will be at Lutcher. Lutcher number 5, Belle Chase number 12. And Jennings, number 9 Jennings is coming in to take on South Terrebonne in Berg. South Terrebonne is the number 8 seed. So let's hope that the girls from South Terrebonne can do exactly what the boys did and take care of Jennings. I don't ever remember Jennings ever coming into Terrebonne Parish. And now within a 2-week span, both their baseball and softball teams are coming in to play in Berg. So Jennings is going to know where Berg, Louisiana is at by the time it's all over with. In Division 2 Select, your reigning state champions, Vanderbilt Catholic, had a bye in the first round. They're the number 1 seed. And guess who's the number 2 seed? E.D. White. Wouldn't that be something if those 2 teams meet in the state championship game? In round 2, it'll be 19-seeded Cabrini taking on Vanderbilt Catholic here in Houma. And number 15, Madison Prep, is traveling to Thibodaux to take on E.D. White Catholic. All those games are happening today. If you are watching this on Tuesday, it's today. Wanted to mention too, we're doing this on Tuesday because we were at Terrebonne High's fundraising golf tournament yesterday, and we were waiting for Dustin to get back from Hawaii. That all being said, those softball playoff games for the second round are today. In Division 3 Select, Houma Christian had a bye. The number 6 Houma Christian Lady Warriors are now going to take on number 11 North Lake Christian. That game is going to be played here in Houma today. Our heart, our prayers, our thoughts are going out to Christy Crowders, the head coach over there at Houma Christian. She lost her mother in a battle to cancer this past weekend. So we're thinking of Christy and hoping that her team plays well in that playoff game. And then finally, Division 4 Select Softball, Covenant Christian made the playoffs. They actually defeated Delta Charter in the first round. That game played in Thibodaux. They'll be moving on to the second round to take on St. Frederick's. So it'll be number 13 Covenant Christian taking on number 4 St. Frederick, and that game is going to be played in Monroe. So that puts a bow on our playoffs of baseball and softball. A big kudos to Chris Singleton. A lot of you know Chris Singleton. He was for the longest time the editor of the Houma Courier here in town and the Daily Comment. Chris now works in the mass communications department at Nichols. He's a teacher there now. And Chris felt like we were not doing justice to the all-region teams in our area. Because the Houma Courier no longer does things like this, Chris said, let's get a lot of media personnel together and let's vote on an all-region team. He put together all of the stats on all of these kids. He got all of these kids on a docket a sheet and send it out to all of us in the area to vote on this. And we have officially an all-region team for basketball. Chris wants to continue this in baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. So we will be doing that as time moves on. Again, kudos, Chris. What a great job for you putting this all together. So here we go. Here's our 2025 All-Region Boys Basketball team first. We'll get to the girls in a second. Our MVP is Jordan Matthews, senior basketball player at Vanderbilt Catholic. What a terrific player he is and will be at the next level as he continues to play on that next level. And our coach of the year is from Franklin High School, Tremaine Johnson. A lot of people don't realize that Franklin High won the Division III non-select state championship. So kudos to Franklin High School and Tremaine Johnson for that. Our first team, boys all-region team. Jordan Matthews, of course, from Vanderbilt Catholic. We just mentioned him. Also joining him is Ben Case from Central Catholic in Morgan City. Greg Johnson from Patterson High School. Jamar Bias from Morgan City High School. Treshawn Mack from Franklin. And Terrence Petrie from South Lafourche High School. Terrence is only a junior, so you folks in the area get to see a lot of Terrence again next year. Also a really good baseball and football player. Moving on, the second team. Again, this is the boys all-region team in basketball. Jaden Coleman from Vanderbilt Catholic. He's only a junior. He'll be back next year. Caden Mitchell from H.L. Bourgeois, only a junior. He'll be back next year. Tashawn Jones from Centerville High School, only a junior. So you got a lot of juniors on the second team. Anthony Dennis from Ellendon Memorial High School. He's only a sophomore, folks, making the second team all-region team. Bailey Streams from CCA is on the second team, along with Tamaj Lagarde from Ellendon Memorial High School. Congratulations to all of those kids. They are your boys basketball all-region team from our Bayou region. Let's move on to the girls. The girls MVP, this wasn't much of a vote here. She was terrific the entire year for Vanderbilt Catholic. Tiana Stewart. She is a state champion. She played extremely well leading up to the state championship game and played well in the state championship game. Tiana Stewart, the MVP in the Bayou region for girls basketball, along with her head coach, Jaworski Coleman, did a great job there at Vanderbilt for the girls this year. A good, God-fearing man who has always done a good job, but this year tops off with a state championship for Vanderbilt Catholic. The first team, all-girls, all-region team. Tiana Stewart from Vanderbilt Catholic, Journey Johnson from Vanderbilt Catholic, only a junior, Michaela Charles from Vanderbilt Catholic. So when you have 3 of the 6 spots all from Vanderbilt Catholic, that probably equals a state championship, and that's exactly what it did. Jade Olney from Central Catholic, also on the first team. She's a senior. Maddie Carey, who is over at CCA, she's on the first team. She averaged 22 points a game. Her mother does a great job of coaching that team at CCA. And Jakari Johnson from H.L. Bourgeois, also a senior on the first team. Let's move on to the second team. On the second team, you have Jordan Gleason from Central Catholic. She is a sophomore. Sanaya Stokes of South Terrebonne. She is a sophomore. South Terrebonne had sort of a renaissance year this year, playing really well. Cara Lacey of Thibodeau High, a terrific basketball player there. She is a senior. She's a second teamer. Emily Cortez also made the second team. The senior at E.D. White is going on to play at the next level. Congratulations to her. Kaylee Pierce of Homer Christian, a sophomore, is on the second team. And this is pretty unheard of. Emerald Ingram is an 8th grader at E.D. White, and she made the second team all-region team. You'll notice that our all-region team expanded a little bit. Usually it was just Terrebonne, Lafourche, Assumption, maybe a little bit of St. Charles Parish, St. James. Now it has kind of expanded into the St. Mary area. That's okay. We're all part of the Bayou region, and we have some good basketball in our area. Again, congratulations to all of these young gentlemen and young ladies for making the all-region team. And a big kudos again to Chris Singleton for all he has done. That's it for us today. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. We are here weekly on Mondays. We hope that you like and subscribe. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Spotify. And we love bringing you information on our kids. Last big thanks to Chris Singleton for everything that he did related to the all-region basketball team. And to all of our baseball, softball teams, good luck to all of our track and field teams. It's district week. They're all competing in that district meet. We hope they do well so that all of those kids can move on to regional and state competition. On behalf of Dustin and I, we hope you have a terrific week. We'll catch up with you next week. We'll have Casey on next week and talk more about baseball and softball playoffs. Hope you're here with us. Take care, everybody.